It's Football Manager 2015 time again, and after looking at the three giants in the northwest, now it's time to head south to the capital. Yes, we're going to Stamford Bridge to see just how Chelsea look in 2020 in our Football Manager 2015 simulation. Well, they start the game with Jose Mourinho in charge, and his second spell as Chelsea boss went a little bit better on Football Manager. He would win 2 Premier League titles and an FA Cup as well, before resigning in 2016 to become Germany manager, so at least he wasn't sacked like in real life. But in the simulation, this is where things began to unravel for Chelsea. Jurgen Klopp was the big name replacement for the special one, but the German gaffer was a massive disappointment in London. He lasted just 207 days in the dugout before getting his P45, before being replaced by Frank de Boer. And this spell was just as disappointing. The Dutchman lasted a little bit longer, getting the sack on day 211 of his tenure. It was an awful year for Chelsea, who, having won the title under Mourinho in 2016, ended the following campaign in 12th. Jorge Jesus was the next man on the hot seat and things picked up, with the Brazilian winning a domestic double to lift the FA Cup and Premier League in 2018. But come May 2020, Jesus was sacked as well, ending the 2019-20 season in 6th place. He's just been replaced by Julen Lopetegui, but let's go back to that last game of the season and see how Chelsea lined up, ending the campaign with a 4-2 win over Cardiff. In goal was Thibaut Courtois. While he had an awful afternoon in the final game against Cardiff, picking up a rating of 6.1, Thibaut Courtois has been excellent for Chelsea, playing pretty much every game and getting more than an average rating of 7 in all but one season. But he's unrivaled in between the sticks, with his backup being young goalkeeper Robbie Taylor, who already has 3 England caps interestingly. But for now, Courtois will remain the main man at Chelsea. Right back was Daniel Amartey. A £5 million signing in 2017, Daniel Amartey hasn't been a key figure at Chelsea and is mainly a holding midfielder, which begs the question, why was he starting at right back on the final day of the season? But the Blues don't actually have many right back options, having sold Serge Aurier in January 2020. They do have Azpilicueta, but he was left back for this game, leaving Amartey to operate down the right. Centre back was John Terry. While in the real world John Terry is long retired and now a coach at Aston Villa, Football Manager 2015 aren't giving up the ghost just yet, with the veteran defender still going strong at the age of 39. Still the captain obviously, Terry played 26 times last season. It was the first time he averaged less than a 7, but only just. Now this actually will be his last season, with the game stating he intends to retire in the summer of 2021. He was alongside Leonardo Bonucci. It was an ageing defensive partnership, but to be fair, Bonucci looks young at 33. The Italian legend has been at Chelsea for a while, arriving in 2014 for £22 million. He's been excellent for Chelsea, but hasn't played as much in the past couple of seasons, which might be because of Thomas Callas. A lad who always seems to be good on FM, except for this simulation of course, Chelsea cocked this right up. Selling him for less than £2 million, they then had to pay £11.5 million to re-sign him in 2018 from Aston Villa. And to make matters worse, he's been crap in a Chelsea shirt. Left back was Cesar Azpilicueta. While Chelsea barely have any right backs, they've got loads of options on the left. But in this game they went with Azpilicueta, playing on arguably his weaker side. But that's neither here nor there, he's still a very good left back. The Spaniard has been one of Chelsea's best and most consistent players in the simulation, no matter which side he's played on. Chelsea also have Goulam, the Algerian left back who seems to have played most of the season, but not the final game, and they've also just signed Matt Targett from Southampton for £8.25 million. In midfield we've got Nemanja Matic. In the real world, Nemanja Matic's Chelsea career ended in the summer of 2017 with a move to Manchester United, but FM15 still has him patrolling the Chelsea midfield in the year 2020. And more impressively, he's been one of their best players and more than just a holding midfielder. Matic has been racking up the assists, getting 8 in the most current season and 14 the year before. And 8's a decent number considering he missed half the season due to injury, with Pierre Højbjerg taking his place, a £35 million signing from Bayern who's been sensational, another star in this Chelsea team. Obviously he had a lot more potential than anticipated 5 years ago. Next up is Oscar. Another player who left Chelsea in reality. Oscar's Chinese dream didn't come to fruition and the Brazilian is still at Stamford Bridge, with the lure of the Chinese Super League not actually a thing on Football Manager 2015. Oscar has been a key player for the Blues at the heart of the midfield throughout the simulation, and I think he was playing alongside Matic here. It was a bit hard to work out what the actual formation was. Anyway, another option Chelsea have in midfield is Martin Odegaard, the Norwegian sensation who joined the Blues for £34 million in 2015. He hasn't quite hit the heights yet, but obviously the best is still yet to come. So maybe when we sim this to 2025 he'll be the main man. Next up we've got Eden Hazard. Okay, so I think the Belgian superstar was either playing on the left wing or centre midfield with Oscar as well. Either way, he was in the starting 11, he's still at Chelsea, and he's absolutely still their best player, getting legend status at the club. Valued at £50 million, it's likely Hazard will see out his career at Stamford Bridge, and his performance levels have been out of this world, with the season average never going below a 7.5. He scored goals, got assists, everything you'd expect from a player of Hazard's class. Oh, and he got one of the goals in the 4-2 win over Cardiff that we're talking about. Well done, Aiden. Well done, you. Next up, we've got Willian. As the uncertainty continues, I think Willian was playing just behind the striker, as that's what the game has got him down in his best and main position. The Brazilian's been decent for Chelsea, but not on Hazard's level, with Football Manager shadowing reality very well here. Another player they've got who can operate as a cam is Breel Mbolo, the Swiss forward who in reality has yet to really hit the heights expected of him, but on the game here, he's playing his international football for Cameroon. For Chelsea though, he scored in the 4-2 win over Cardiff, but he's yet to really justify his £20 million price tag. On the right we've got Bertrand Traoré. An absolute pace merchant started for Chelsea on the last day of the season, and one you might remember from their past. Bertrand Traoré is a member of a generation of lost Chelsea players who spent most of their days out on loan before eventually being sold. While on FM15 he had 5 loan spells away from Stamford Bridge, including one in the Championship with Burnley, but in the most recent season he got a chance, playing 11 games, scoring twice and getting 1 assist. But he's one of few players to get through the Chelsea academy, with the likes of Loftus-Cheek now in the Championship. And up front it's Diego Costa. Still the main striker at Stamford Bridge, 31-year-old Diego Costa has been a machine in front of goal in a Chelsea shirt, scoring 121 Premier League goals in just 175 appearances, a pretty damn impressive tally, and 2 of those goals came in the last day of the season against Cardiff. But he hasn't had an easy ride at Chelsea, as there are multiple other strikers gunning for his place, such as Vincent Aboubakar, Kumar Babakar and Luis Muriel. Dominic Solanke is also in the reserves, but for some reason I can't quite see him breaking through. So that's Chelsea in 2020 according to Football Manager 2015. Let us know in the comments below which team you'd like us to look at next, and as always don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo.